My Yorion Blue Ring control deck was a good idea, but a little too rough around the edges. Some powerful wizards like Dom Harvey, Andreas Peterson have taken the deck and ran with it. Great challenge finishings with a new Blue Ring control deck. Let's see how it works. Welcome back, Vintage Gamers. I have a refined one ring control deck here. Basically, the progression was Desolutionists and I created some one ring control brews, tried them in a few challenges. I didn't have very much success. Desolutionists had some success. Then Dom Harvey, powerful magician, picked up the deck, tuned it a little bit, had some good outings, and then Andreas Peterson took up the deck, Musasabi took up the deck, and Nico Bani took up the deck. And so now we have a couple different branches that all placed in like the top first or second place in challenges recently. So you're going to actually end up seeing this deck quite a lot, I would think, in the upcoming weeks, because people always copy and paste what is winning vintage challenges. So this is a bit of a refined take on one ring control. I have to update the deck. Sorry, Ropeburn. I'll do it in a second. And the big really innovation in this version is Lorien Revealed. So this is an island cycling card from the Lord of the Rings set. And island cycling is any island, so it actually fixes you for Underground Sea, which allows you to splash your Vamp and Demonic very easily, instead of playing things like Relic of Sauron or stuff like that. So we actually have a No Workshop. We have an Ancient Tomb, Urza Saga, Underground Sea mana base, complementing our 8 Force Ring control deck. We also have Tinker Vault Key, Twister Hull Breacher, and Hull Breacher makes a lot of sense here, as Hull Breacher is going to beat Jewel, the Mirror, and Countervine. And like I said, I think there will be a lot of this deck moving forward. I like the look of this. I think I took, maybe I took Andreas's list, and then I just made a few changes. I just wanted to add Karn. I do like the idea of Karn in this deck, but for the most part, I kept very similar to what he was doing. And so we're going to run it through a league and see how it works and see how much better it is than our initial creation. Catch you in round 1. If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle. Okay, let's go. Round 1. I am on the play. I've got... So this hand doesn't have a ring, and ring is definitely the centerpiece to this deck, but it does let us cycle into an Underground Sea, and we can still play like hard cast Lorien Revealed if we want to. Seems kind of interesting. Let's try it. The one thing about this card in comparison to something like Seagate Restoration, which is a similar effect, is that it's much more castable than Seagate Reclamation. So we actually have a reasonable draw 3 for 5 mana. It's not like a card you are always going to be able to cast, but you're a Tolarian Academy deck, you're a full Moxen deck. Certainly seems viable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go island cycling and grabbing an Underground Sea. Actually, I'm just going to grab an island in case we get wastelanded. And then I'm going to play Lotus, and then I'm going to play Mana Vault, and I'm going to pass. I don't really want my Lorien Revealed to get Mindbreak trapped. There's a lot of Mindbreak traps running around in the format right now, so. That sounds about right, Zajad. No, I think that you don't want to cast the Lorien into a possible Mindbreak trap. You have to really, truly respect Mindbreak trap in this metagame when people are playing 4 of Mindbreak traps. Here, I'm just going to cast my draw 3. My opponent's playing mono white, but kept a less powerful hand than they'd like to because of mulligans. I think they mulligan to 5. So let's just cast our draw 3. We've drawn Time Vault, Mana Crypt. All right, well, I am going to... I can't hold up blue, so I might as well just cast this Hull Breacher and pass. I don't think I want to cast this Mana Crypt. Life total could be pretty relevant in this game. Though, opponent playing uncounterable Thalia here definitely makes holding it worse. All right. We definitely didn't really draw the cards we were looking for, but a single Urza Saga with no Wastelands could put us in a good spot as well. just to go for like a vault key angle. But opponent playing like a bunch of uncounterable humans might just be too much for us. So let's see what happens. Here's a wasteland. I don't know if they're going to end up wastelanding me. Could be challenging for them, depending on how many cards they want to try to cast from their hand. Not an uncounterable human, so an Archon. Oh, a White Plume. Yeah, I just don't really want that to exist here. That seems bad for us. So key is our best draw. Obviously, a ring is still pretty reasonable. Does this let us hold open force? It does if we play our Mana Crypt. It's probably worthwhile. We're not really winning this game, even though our opponent had a really anemic start, just because we kept a no payoff hand and our draw 3 did not hit up payoffs. So something to keep in mind, maybe. Our deck is pretty light on payoffs. Like, our deck basically only functions when we have the One Ring, and we do have, you know, extra copies of the One Ring, but... All right, do they have another human? No, it looks like they have an Archon or a White Plume Adventure. Glad we played our Mana Crypt here, so we can play our 6 mana Force of Will. Unfortunately, we're at 9 with an Ancient Tomb and a Mana Crypt, so we're not currently winning this game still. Our Tinker is winning, though. Lost the Mana Crypt flip. Needle. Yeah, I mean, I should have probably untapped my Mana Vault there, seeing as I'm now dead. My bad. Definitely should have untapped my Mana Vault. There was really no reason not to. Just didn't. Probably gonna hold back this Hull Breacher to chump block the Thalia so we don't go into lethal range, but definitely shouldn't have had to done that. See what their final 3-drop is here. This one's gonna resolve, so Archon maybe. Oh, Phyrexian Sensor, cool. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to draw one of our main things here, and if we don't, we die. Did not draw it. All right. So, yeah, we just kept the draw 3 controlling hand and didn't draw any cards that did anything. Something to think about for sure. Let's go with 3 Dismembers. And then I'll take out Mental Misstep, Gataxian Probe. Have I considered being more lucky? That would definitely help me win more, I would think. I think we could use a Needle on Wasteland. Seems fine. So let's just go with a top. I mean, I would not play Ponder and Brainstorm in a deck that does not have fetches. Is it good? I don't know. This is our first time playing with it. It seemed pretty good in game 1. It didn't help us win, but it seemed reasonable. So this is a Saga gaming hand where we lose to Wasteland. Classic. I can't imagine you would mulligan this hand, though. The problem is Hull Breacher is just not very good against our opponent. Yeah, so unfortunately, like Force of Negation is not really a card you want to play against Mono White, but because Mono White is so all in on fast mana and plays uncounterable Cavern, you actually keep your Force of Negations in and you counter their fast mana. So if my opponent plays any piece of fast mana here, you just negation it. And it hopefully buys you enough turns to do things that are worthwhile. Chrome Mox is definitely not the one I want to be countering, but it is the play we have to make here. Needle. Interesting. I don't think I would bring it... Well, I guess Needle hits the One Ring, right? Interesting. Brainstorm is unreasonable. Ponder is probably fine. I would agree with that statement as well. Don't think I'm ready to flash in a Hull Breacher there. Doesn't feel right. At least they didn't needle our ring. Ugh. Turning off ring is our whole deck. I guess that's true. I mean, then we just win with Saga, right? I've been told winning with Saga very easy. Another cavern. So this is gonna be a Thalia, maybe. So if I get a Black Lotus, I'll have 1, 4, 7, 8, and I just need to find an additional colorful source. So don't think I'm gonna play the Hold Breach here. I think I'm gonna look to maybe hardcast this Sphinx. Though it's kind of hard to have a colorful source. Ancient Tomb. We have been bested by our deck. So far, I have not been happy with what this deck has done, but maybe I just kept bad cards. Nothing here is really helping us, huh? I got rid of the top, which is something I could have taken in this turn. It's not like I have an opal that I could use a key for. All right, whatever. I'm gonna, like I said, I think this whole Breacher is kind of garbage. I want to try to cast the Sphinx, so. Yeah, I mean, it's any off-color Moxen or blue land. But the Sphinx isn't even, like, game-winning. My opponent can play... That's fine. Solitude, I guess I have a Force. But I might not even have the mana to pay for Force. What's my opponent trying to do here? Okay. All right. How about one of them lands? I hate this game so much. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Urza Saga based. Uncounterable Cleric. Wait, this is an Archon. This is a Null Rod? Oh my. Yeah, okay. None of that. I mean, my opponent's start isn't the strongest. Like, we can still probably win. Yeah? Yeah. He said. Ah, we've done it. I should probably not have boarded out this Sensei's top, I guess. Blue, white, black. Though if my opponent has a Solitude, I legitimately cannot protect my Sphinx anymore, but... It's so bad! Alright, okay, yes, indeed. Man, Urza Saga, what a magic card. Oh. I'm gonna go get a key. Just to give us more outs. Okay. This deck I am not thrilled with so far, but I've also cast 0 rings, which is the only card that makes this deck work. So maybe it's possible. We'll see. Depends on how I feel. I can't stream tomorrow, so I figured I'd stream today. The fucking... Get me out of here. Not a compelling start for this ring control deck, but I am also not a very powerful wizard, so... So this hand cycles for an island, plays 2 mana, and then needs to hit mana for Hull Breach or Twister, but has force. Probably fine. It has a plan. At least this hand has a plan. A lot of the other hands I was keeping didn't really have plans, so... Manifold Key, once again, being terrible card to have in your deck. I don't know. I don't know about these Urza Saga decks. They seem kind of bad. You have to play Vault Key. You have to play Urza Saga. Like, couldn't we instead just play Tinker and Doomsday? Like, what are we really doing here? Yeah, so far so bad, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of cards in Vintage that are good if you never draw them. All right, so I'm gonna go get Basic Island so I don't get Wastelanded. And then I'm gonna try to draw a Mana Source and cast Hull Breacher, and then cast Time Twister. And we're gonna hope that's a winning line. If it's not a winning line, we got big problems. I mean, it's not like the Lorians have been bad. It's just the fact that we haven't drawn any good cards has been bad. No real power, huh? All right, okay. Scalding Tarn. All right, so I need that Mana Source, please. That's not a Mana Source. Unlucky. Underground Sea. Duress. Well, I think we're losing our Time Twister. But this looks like it's a Doomsday opponent, so... The Hull Breach is pretty good against Doomsday. It's not the end of the world for them, but it's definitely reasonable. I mean, our hand's quite reasonable against Doomsday, right? Got multiple counter magic and Hull Breacher. So I would suspect they don't try to fight through the counter magic. They would just take the payoff, right? No, they're gonna try to fight through the counter magic. Okay, notable. It's not uncastable. It's just not castable right now. See, look, now it's castable. Freaking easy game. I'm just gonna cast this in their upkeep. They already know about it. So I'd rather them not have an extra draw step for a force, right? I guess we can't actually pay for a Flusterstorm, even if we untap our Crypt, which is unfortunate. Like if we force, they force, and they fluster, we actually can't pay. But I mean, is this good for us if we just let this go? Maybe it's just fine. We got 3 more to draw, right? Same cards. The Lethal Twister could be fun. Could be fun. Four cards in the opponent's hand. What do we got? We've got Demonic Tutor. You got it. Probably just gets Ancestral. There might be just like reasonable... It might just be reasonable to cast Time Twister on my next turn here. If they like don't make any play with this Demonic, just casting Time Twister seems fine. If they fluster, we can pay. And if they don't fluster, like if they Ancestral and force, we can force. So seems okay. I'm not like thrilled with the idea of giving Doomsday a fresh 7 after they have 3 land drops in play, but currently not doing very much with our lives. I mean, I fully expect what they do is just get an ancestral, right? I mean, they could get a fluster theoretically, but let's see. Well, if I'm casting Twister, it's actually good to let the tutor resolve, right? Like whatever they tutor for gets twisted away. I don't know. I'm not sure this puts us in a better situation, considering we have multiple counter magic. The problem with multiple counter magic here is I can't cast any negations hard cast. Right. So if they get ancestral, what are they going to do? Ancestral in response? Like, is that good for them? Doesn't seem good for them. I'm going to twist here. Maybe they're okay with it because I get rid of a counter spell. I don't know. I cannot hard cast negation because I do not have 2 blue mana. This is not a seat of the Cyanide that I can untap. I'm not like convinced that my reasoning on why this Twister is good is correct for what it's worth. My opponent could fluster here. I might not even pay if they, well, if they fluster here to tap me out. Oh, like if they ancestral, we don't care, right? They ancestral, sure. Now they have to force this. Yeah, that went super well for us. Though we still, I guess this is a blue source. All right, so that looks kind of good. Lorien revealed, though. Wait, so unfortunately, we can't tinker for Vault Key because we don't have an extra mana. So should we just hold Breacher and hope we don't die? I mean, we don't have a single force. We had 8 forces in our deck, and we did not wheel into any forces. Maybe what I should have done is I should have just played my Sensei's top and spun before I used my Lorien. This looks really bad. I can theoretically activate Soul Ring and untap Soul Ring and play top and Hold Breacher. That way I at least have a blind top draw for a force if I need it. Unfortunately, I do have to like use my key right away and I don't get to hide the activation at all, but this at least gives us some interaction. Like the only thing I can tinker for because there's no Citadel in this deck is the One Ring, and I don't think the One Ring is good enough here. So I'd rather just play Hold Breacher. You got it. Ritual, demonic tutor, sure. Duress. Uh-huh. You got it. Hopefully that means they don't have a force. I mean, taking Tinker here is good if they have to pass the turn, and that way I don't win. This might mean they can't win. I also still have my blind draw. We're 8 forces in my deck. I mean, I don't think it's much of a choice, right? You just always take Tinker here? Unless they're just thinking about their Doomsday. Chain of Vapor doesn't do anything, right? How did I get into Vintage? My friends took me to a Vintage tournament, and it was fun. So I kept going to them. They took Chain of Vapor? What does that mean, chat? Does that mean they have like a main deck Shieldred? What does taking Chain of Vapor do here? What am I missing? Maybe they're Tinker Doomsday and they have a Citadel. But they had Duress. I don't have Duress in my build. Oh. 3 Dark Rituals, huh? Does that mean they have a Necro? I am so confused. If anyone knows, I mean, it feels like that's what's going on here. I'm just letting this Doomsday resolve, and then once they commit a draw spell, I'll just play Hull Breacher. Maybe. I mean, simply having Force backup isn't good enough, right? Because I could technically draw a Force. I can't spin top because I think I'm going to play Hull Breacher to stop whatever their draw spell is. And even if they don't cast anything and pass the turn, I'm still casting Hull Breacher, right? So. Oh, if I get a treasure? I doubt I'm getting a treasure. If they don't have a way to kill Hull Breacher, they just simply won't cast their Ancestral into it, or cast anything into it, because they know I have a Hull Breacher in my hand. So I would assume we are never getting a treasure. I mean, my opponent should be building a pile. If they can't counter the Hull Breacher, they need to build a pile that doesn't draw cards, which is not hard to do. Not hard to do. It is not impossible to do. We did it yesterday on stream where you do like Demonic and Demonic and Time Walk. That was pretty cool. Where you do like go Time Walk on top, Time Walk on top, Demonic underneath it, Demonic for Oracle. And that gets rid of 3 cards from your deck, and then you play Oracle for 2 devotion. So that happened at least once yesterday. Their pile also needs to beat Tinkering for Lethal is true, which is why I was very confused they took Chain of Vapor and not Tinker. True. There's like some amount of yeah, I don't know. I'm happy that we don't have to figure this out because I don't want to. Honestly, after yesterday's stream, I was exhausted. Consult Oracle alone dodges Hull. True, but Time Walk Demonic doesn't take 2 turns, where a Consult Oracle does take 2 turns. Yeah, but you can also build Tinker. You can also build Tinker Citadel Mox Oracle, right? I haven't gotten to do that pile yet, but it does sound like a great time. I don't know what Taking Chain does at all. I have no idea what Taking Chain does. Yeah, I guess sure. I guess Chain would stop an Oracle on 2. That's true. If they it doesn't stop most piles because typically you'll draw down to 0 cards, and if you chain an Oracle with 0 cards, it doesn't matter. But if you go for a Devotion 2 cards in Library Oracle, then yes, Chain would stop it. But yeah, like I was saying, playing Tinker Doomsday yesterday on stream, I was just so exhausted afterwards. It was really rough. It's quite hard to do my normal chat interaction and banter while playing Doomsday. I mean, if they have Console or Coral in hand, they just wouldn't have cast Doomsday, right? I mean, this has to be Force or Daze, right? Oh, so their hand was Preordain Ancestral. Wow. So this draws them into Lotus Oracle. Damn. Okay. So I guess there was a downside in letting Doomsday resolve first. Huh. So is there any it has to be Ancestral or Brainstorm in hand with a second draw spell? It's kind of crazy. Okay. 8 forces to draw into. Didn't draw into any. Damn. So yeah, I guess I should have cast Hullbreacher in response to Doomsday and made them use their Ancestral beforehand. I really didn't consider them having Ancestral plus draw spell in hand, but I mean I played badly here for sure. So this is why they took Chain, by the way, because I am gonna get a I am actually going to get, well, I guess they could have Force in their pile, but I could get a treasure token and then they would, oh wait, what's happening? Street Wraith. But like I could have a treasure token in Chain here, I guess. So maybe that's why they took Chain. Interesting. Yeah. So Chain would have been, I mean, they usually get Force in their pile, so I don't think it would matter, but yeah, but I think I'll lose if I do that. Pretty sure I lose if I make that line. Like my opponent can have Force in their pile, right? Like I don't think you're allowed to let the Ancestral resolve. I would rather just blind draw, giving me 8 forces and a mental misstep to draw into. But I mean, that's I think that one's on me. I think if I just simply cast Hullbreacher in response to Doomsday, I didn't really want to cast. I guess if they know it's in my hand, there's kind of no reason not to, right? It's just a mistake. All right. Well, Sphinx is shit, and I think Chain is terrible as well. So we'll just go Sphinx Chain out, trap in, and call it a day. I guess this Needle is horrible, but what am I gonna play instead? I guess we'll just keep Chain in. Sure. I think I like blind draw there over like weight or something like that. God, what are these hands? Like I'm trying to be reasonable about this deck, but like maybe we've just drawn abysmally, but these hands have just been so bad, right? We've cast 0 rings. That's mulligan. So this hand has uh I mean, is this hand even good? We've drawn 0 rings. Is this hand even good? What does this hand do? This hand goes keep, double force, saga, go. I mean, that's probably good against Doomsday, right? I think you want to have the Emerald over the demonic tutor, and then if we don't use our Lauren pitch cast, we can cycle it for a land to make sure we're getting constructs. I mean, I sure hope we copied the list. But I mean, double force plus saga is pretty good against Doomsday typically. All right, so here I think we cycle because that way, I mean, we're gonna lose our ability to double force anyways. So I don't want to like lose this and not be able to do sagaing. And our hand is basically duress proof, right? Like, doesn't actually matter what our opponent takes from our hand. Should all be the same for us. At the end, we still end up with a force and a blue card. They took the Twister, sure. I think that's better for us. All right, we get to make 2 Saga tokens and then hopefully hold up double force. Might not be enough because Doomsday, but we'll see. So far, I definitely have liked Lauren revealed. I just haven't drawn any rings, so my deck hasn't functioned. Which is one of the reasons I actually really like Lauren revealed was because it fixes for black, which lets you play Vamp Demonic as 2 more rings. You got it. That's a resolver. Definitely getting it at top so that we can theoretically draw into another blue card. And then attack. All right, I mean, we got 8 free power. Our land is so broken. Look at it. Look at Urza Saga go. It's totally free. We spent 0 mana. Our land just happened to have it. We also technically have spin. I guess not really, but what up? I feel like I don't counter. I don't feel like countering this is good. It's probably fine. I have to. I would strongly disagree with I have to. If your argument was you probably should, I would be more reasonable to that one. I definitely think there are worlds where you can let that resolve. I don't know if this is the world, but I mean, wow, we wouldn't have had a blue card on top. Holy shit. I would highly recommend not looking for misstep first and running into days. That seems like a very not great line. The fact that we didn't have a second blue card on top is quite concerning. Unfortunately, my opponent can play through a Karn with rich, like, Gushin things. I mean, I think we have to cast the Karn. Unfortunately, it's super bad for us. I think that's worse. Can we grab a ring? No, we can grab probably nothing. We can grab a needle. I mean, if I didn't think countering Ancestral was good, I wouldn't have done it. I think playing Karn is better than holding up Hardcast Force. Wow. Huh. Okay, sure. I didn't think my opponent would bring in Fatal Push against me. That's kind of odd. Welcome, Everos viewers. Hope you're doing well. All right, they're off it. I don't think you need to concede to Karn here, but we'll take it. Agent? You think this deck could play Agent? I guess it technically could play Agent. I don't know about that. Yeah, we have not cast any rings tonight. Honestly, the deck has been, I don't know. It's worked, but it doesn't without we haven't had any good draws, right? We haven't had a single good draw yet, and we're still doing okay. This is a classic ring hand where I can't play it till turn 3. Karn is restricted in Vintage. Karn is very, very broken. And extremely unfun when you're trying to play with your fancy Moxen, right? I can't justify mulliganing a force hand against Doomsday, even though this is a bit on the slower side. If we draw any Moxen, we're in a good spot. I guess our opponent must have way more duresses than I think they do. Maybe it's like 2 duresses. Like, am I really mulliganing this hand? I can't imagine that would be true. Can't imagine to be correct. I'm not happy about this hand. It needs a Moxen to really function, right? But like, Doomsday is a deck that does just necessitate some amount of force. Not bad. Kind of hope they like go Ritual, Doomsday, no counter backup, and we can get 2 cards for 2 cards, and then maybe draw Moxen and start a rebuild with 1 ring. The whole like premise of this deck is just to draw a million cards with 1 ring into a million forces. This looks free. They don't even have a like Flusterstorm backup or anything. Can't get dazed. Yeah, that looked like a very weak Ancestral. I sensed weakness, and we drew the Moxen. All right, I mean, I think we are just probably gonna cruise ahead in this game. It could have days, I guess, but that'd be fine. We have a 2nd ring anyways. All right, so my opponent could still technically have like land off the top, Ritual Doomsday, but or even just like Lotus Ritual Doomsday, Street Wraith Ancestral, something like that. Drawing the Moxen to give us a ring ahead of schedule was very important. All right, so here's the Doomsday. There's a lot of ways that this Doomsday can be lethal. If they have multiple cantrips in hand, like if they have like a Street Wraith and a Preordain, then you can Street Wraith into Lotus, Lotus Preordain into Ancestral, Ancestral into Sapphire Oracle. Do people still play Tendrils in Vintage? There are not really any active Tendril decks, no. They don't need land for Preordain. All they need is Street Wraith into Lotus. So I think there's like definitely worlds where we die here, but I think it's pretty unlikely considering our opponent would probably have Street Wraith earlier. Unless they had Dark Ritual Doomsday already, and then they probably want to hold Street Wraith. So I don't know. Maybe 50-50. We either die or we don't. Oh, Ancestral is exiled. Okay, fair. Can I build a pile? I'm sure we can still build a pile. We can just build a pile that's like all Street Wraiths, right? So we can build a pile that's Street Wraith, Lotus on top. We Street Wraith into it, cast Ponder, Preordain into Street Wraith Oracle. So I don't think it matters if they have Ancestral or not. I could look at this pile and determine if we're dead, but I don't care. So, you know, how you doing, Chest Knight? So they have Street Wraith. Okay, so we should be dead here. See if our opponent built a pile. Yeah, Gush. Yep. All right. Doomsday, baby. So far, I am not thrilled. We would win on the next turn. Not working very well. Okay, here we go. Round 3. We got Chest Knight. I don't know what Chest Knight's up to these days. This hand... it's probably a keep, right? I mean, I got Moxen. I have the best land ever printed. Can't be bad. If this is what the deck does, Zajad, I am not interested. I'm going to keep working on Doomsday and just... When I saw that this deck was winning all of its matches basically this weekend, I was like, damn, I have to consider this deck as a possibility for me to play in paper, right? But so far, I don't know. All right, we got a ring mirror. We probably have a pretty close to a 75 card mirror. And I don't have a blue mana or a force, and my opponent doesn't have a blue mana or a force, but they have a turn 1 ring. We don't have a blue mana. Ooh, man, this could be rough. We both have Hull Breachers. Good lord. This has got to be one of the dumbest mirrors of all time. This kind of reminds me of like Karnforge mirror almost. So they're just going to go Mana Vault ring, draw, and then we're going to go Saga ring, draw, and then they have a blue mana, so they're going to play a Hull Breacher, and then we have to find a blue mana, and we'll find a Hull Breacher. Oh my lord. This looks atrocious. Did I accidentally probe myself? No, I see my opponent's hand. That's how I knew what they had. Okay, that actually is a blue source, but I guess the Saga would be a blue source as well, so. Alright, I mean. Hopefully they didn't draw a Force of Will. Oh my god, they drew a Force of Will. I am not good enough to play this game. Alright, well. My opponent's going to draw an additional 3 cards this turn. But we have active Saga, right? That could win. That could win. And we have Tinker. I don't know what that does, but it exists. We could go Tinker Volkey, right? If they don't draw another Force. Maybe that's just the plan. Do we have enough mana? So we have 4 mana. And then we'll have a manifold key, and then we'll use 1 mana to get a blue mana, and then we'll still have 4 mana, and we can Tinker for Volkey and just try to sneak our way out of this game. Ooh, I kind of like that idea. I know my opponent's hand is Hullbreacher CC, but they have 7 other forces in their deck. But like we're not getting, it's not getting better for us, right? Like they have an active Hullbreacher, and they have their own Saga. We could Needle Saga technically, but are we? I have to do some serious evaluation here on whether or not what game plan makes the most sense. So now I don't have to cycle my Lorien. So do we want to try to play this game with Hullbreacher and Saga tokens? Or do we want to play this game with go all in on Tinker this turn? I guess we have a Needle on the One Ring too. So what if instead we go Saga token, get a Needle? I don't know if getting a Needle is really that good though. But they're pretty low life total. And then we untap, make another Saga token, but then we can't stop them from making more Saga tokens. Are we ahead in this battle if we do that? The problem is if they did draw a Force and they force Hullbreacher, we lose anyways, right? We just lose to the ring drawing too many cards. So I think we're just going to go all in for Volkey. Because I think this game... If they do have a Force, we lose either way. And I don't think... Yeah. I think... Well, my opponent is going to have their own Saga tokens and Hullbreacher, right? I guess theoretically we could get Manifold Key, but then they get their own Needle off of Saga. Wow. It's like pretty damn close. The problem is we can't make a second Saga token this turn. If we could make a second Saga token this turn, I guess we have to play Hullbreacher anyways, so maybe it doesn't matter. It's really close. So they have 2 unknowns, and they have 7 forces. The problem is if they have Force and they force our Hullbreacher, we lose, right? No, because we have Needle on Ring. All right. I've changed my mind, I think. I am not confident in either line. Oh, yo, if I do this though, I can't play Hullbreacher. I'll have, if I go Lotus, it's shit. Wow. I guess I can't make a construct token and do all the things I wanted to do. So I have to resolve Hullbreacher now. Yeah, I just have to resolve Hullbreacher now. Okay. I can still go Manifold Key Tinker next turn anyways, right? All right. If I go... Oh, wait. You're right. I don't have to play Hullbreacher. I don't know. I kind of want. Yeah. Well, it's better if I play a Hull Breacher than Needle the Ring, right? Because I can get a Needle on my second Saga, and is that better? I don't know. I mean, I think casting the ring was much better than making a Saga token last turn. My opponent, like by like a large margin. I have to consider. I probably need to cycle this end of turn. Yeah, I mean, they could only have 3 forces for the Hull Reacher instead of 7 forces for the Tinker. But I do agree. Hmm. So I kind of wanted the Needle Saga as well. Well, it depends on how many artifacts they have, right? I guess we could technically also get Manifold Key and go unblockable. Oh, they have Chain. That is by far the single best card they could have had here. Oh, we just straight lose the Chain. I guess all of our lines lost to Chain. Man, this is super doomed, right? We just have to hope they don't draw a force and go for Vault Key now. My opponent drew the force on the other turn and the chain on this turn. Or maybe they had chain the whole time. Okay, yeah, I mean, we're just gonna go all in on Vault Key and see if they don't draw any forces. It's possible they just draw no forces, right? So Chain is like the single best card they could have drawn in this instance. And actually, Chain's probably the best card they could have drawn in any instance where we don't go Vault Key immediately. If any beatdown instance, then Chain is probably the best draw. My opponent still has an Underground Sea and 4 unknowns. I guess theoretically we could still go Manifold Key and attack, but that loses to another ring, so that's pretty bad. You can't really kill them with damage because they have more rings in their deck to give protection. And they drew Time Walk, so we just lose anyways. It doesn't, nothing we do matters here. We can never win a game with damage if they're drawing with the ring, because they'll just draw another ring, which gives them protection. They do need to play another ring this turn, which is pretty mana intensive. I mean, Tinker was an option, and it was a reasonable option, but they have 7 forces they could have drawn into. I don't know how, like, all the other, like, they have 1 chain in their deck, and they have 7 forces, right? Oh god, they're going to draw, like, 10 cards this turn. Yeah. It's doomed. Da Vinci is a very, what's the word? Results-oriented player, for sure. I don't think the Tinker line was bad, which is why I considered it. And almost took it. I mean, my opponent has 13 cards. They do need to play a ring this turn, though, for what it's worth. They're at 2. So they need to at least have a Moxen plus a ring. But they didn't get Black Lotus off of their Saga, so that means they have Black Lotus in hand, right? So I think we're fine. I mean, I think they're fine. It's also worth noting if we take infinite turns, they'll have protection. Which means we need to craft something unbeatable hand-wise. No, they're fine. I'm not talking about us. We're not playing this game. What? Oh, right. They have a hold breacher in play. Sure. But this means they have to draw a ring. Maybe they didn't have a ring in their hand. I guess they can redraw that chain as well. Now we don't have Tinker, though, so we don't really have anything. Yep, yep. You can chain your ring. It's very, very common line from the deck. My favorite year of vintage? The one where Espapiro was good. I was winning everything. All right, so they chained, and they're also chaining their Mana Vault. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, we could. The only thing I would really consider in this game that we could have done differently was take the Tinker all in line and pray they didn't have a force. Which I don't know. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure that's the highest percentage play when opponent has 7 forces to draw 2 and only 1 Chain of Vapor to draw 2. So this mirror does look miserable, which is a big point when I'm thinking about decks selection. So I could have also sacked my island and bounced Hull Breacher at some point in the last turn. I don't know if that would have been good or bad, but I'm not sure it was correct. So that was definitely another play I could have made. It was my only blue source at the time, but I had Lauren to get another blue source, so it was probably fine. I didn't really consider them drawing Twister as a card that I cared about, but maybe I should have. Like, I guess I guess theoretically, if they didn't have a ring in their 13 cards, then it would have been pretty good. We're still doing things. They could technically redraw Time Walk as well. I'm not really playing for much here. All I really have is top deck Vault or Tinker, and they have no counters or something. They actually might even have lethal, right? 2, 5, 16. I'm actually 2 damage right now from lethal. Mana Drain is not only not restricted, it's also pretty much not played. There are some stalwart boomers still trying. It's not good. Mana Drain is mostly too slow. You have to have blue, which is not a easy thing to do. They're still doing some thinking. I don't know what else thinking they need to do, but maybe they're trying to win the game this turn or something like that. Trying to help out poor Slasher here. Okay, my opponent has cast Mystical. So they're going to Mystical for Time Walk, ring into Time Walk. Nice. There, they found the line. And then they just need to use their key to untap their Mana Vault. Let's see if they do it, though. This deck certainly does a really powerful thing when you have the ring sit in play for like 2 turns. If you actually untap with the ring, it's pretty broken, huh? So what are they doing now? Oh, they're casting the Time Walk, right? All right, so all they need to do is just untap this Mana Vault, and they're good. But I'm gonna see. Oh, I got it. Nice. All right, cool. All right. There were definitely other choices I could have made in that game. I don't think you want Hercules in this mirror. I guess it's technically decent. Again, like I don't think most games are gonna come down to constructs, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't feel like this matchup is actually about constructs. But how many bad cards do I have? Sphinx is pretty bad. I do think you want this needle. You probably do want Misstep, actually. Oh, I don't know. This deck's been pretty bad so far, kinda. I have not been impressed. But it is a deck we're going to see a lot of, so we got to do some testing. All of these other cards seem good, though. Maybe I don't care about Needle. Maybe I just take out Island. Why do we need this? We don't need this Island, right? That's too many lands anyways. All right, what do we got? We've got turn 1 Demonic, Force Hull Breacher. Seems fine. We could Demonic for Ring and go for turn 2 Ring if we want. I guess we could technically go for turn 1 Hull Breacher, but that just seems way worse and way more vulnerable. I guess I could have brought in Dismembers for Hull Breacher, but that just doesn't feel like... Does that feel like something I would want to be doing? I don't think so. Well, what if I, instead of going for Ring, we go for Karn? Is there a world where that's worse? The world where that's worse is if they have too much broken stuff on turn 1. If they, like, have a million mana, or if they have, like, Saga Ancient Tomb. I think we're just supposed to go Ring Life. No, Bug is resurging. Bug, well, technically it's one player is very good, but Duke 12 split 2 finals with Bug recently. Bug has gotten a lot of new cards recently, so, and it's probably very good into a 1-ring metagame for what it's worth. Collector Oof is very, very good against these kind of decks. Time Walk. It's a lot of Moxen. Oko is also a good answer to the ring. This is a true statement. Collector Oof is the best answer for sure. Collector Oof just turns off my whole deck. All right, so I'm kind of regretting not grabbing a Karn here. Karn looks quite good against this start, but I felt like there were definitely starting cards that would have made me very upset if I took Karn. We also have Manamo, so if we do resolve the ring and untap, does look pretty good. Technically, if we draw like a Black Lotus, we could play the ring and untap it in one the same turn and draw more cards. See what happens. Another Force. All right, this is actually a pretty good draw if we can draw a blue card off of this ring. Oh, just got a Resolver, huh? We did not draw a blue card off the ring. That could be problematic. So we basically have to hope our opponent doesn't have something extremely strong here. Uh-oh. This has got to be Vampiric, I guess. There's like no world where I counter this. If they have redundancy, then they have redundancy. If like they have a card plus they tutor for a force, then they're still beating it. And if they don't have the card, well, I guess if they have the force and don't have the card, then they would force there and we would lose that anyways. Though if they didn't have a blue card, then they wouldn't do that. Yo, what's up, Will? Congrats on your promotion. Call up. All right, so they're just gonna have Time Vault with Force Backup, or what we really needed, we needed to draw a blue card off of this ring. If we had drawn a blue card off this ring, I think that's the spot we would need to be in, but I mean, they could. Oh, they don't have a force. Okay, so now I think we're in an extremely good position. I'm doing all right. Just chilling. Not much new. How is Lauren revealed? It's been good so far. I haven't had any problems with Lauren revealed. I've had problems with the rest of the deck, but the Lauren revealed has been fine. Twisties. Okay. They put a twister on top. I wish I hadn't pitched my Hull Breacher, but I guess that happened. All right. Oh, wait. So this has got to be insane, right? So we can Mystical for Time Walk. What else can we do? I mean, it's got to be winning, right? We could Mystical for Time Walk, draw 2 cards, cast Time Walk. And then we can draw like 6 cards on the next turn. It's probably best. Is there anything better? I guess we could theoretically have like Mystical for Demonic and then Demonic for something. Whatever. Let's do the Time Walk line. Wait, what do they have? They have Chain? Okay. That does make things worse for me. But I actually could play the new ring. I could play the ring again on this turn with the Crypt. Is that good, though? Is it better to play the ring here? It might be a lot of damage, right? We take 2, go to 5, take possible 3, and then 1. We might need to do it. We have to find... I guess we don't have to find Force for their Twister, because we would be able to hardcast it, but... All right, so I lose a life. I lose 3 life. I draw. I new ring. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're doing it now. Probably just play a new ring with no activation, Mind Break Trap their Twister, and go beatdowns. That should just be good enough. I should have Force into Force and then 2 constructs. Like, what are they really realistically going to do here? Yeah. Conceptually and in play, Lorien has been good. It's just the rest of the deck that I'm not sure about. These decks hinge very hard on their payoff and their engine, and I don't know. Like, it's not even like we're playing against Collect Roof decks or decks that are really threatening our engine. So I also am not sure 1 Chain of Vapor is the right number of Chain of Vapors. I actually kind of agree with Sean where you should be playing more. All right. Sea Ruby Pass. Upkeep Ancestral? No. All right. Underground Emerald Top Go. Going Underground Emerald Top Go does expose me to, like, I don't know, end stepped Ancestral with Mind Trap backup, but that seems fine. Right. Like if this deck is folding to Needle and Oof, I think you need to have more answers than just one chain. Like this deck isn't even playing the Merchant Scroll. So they have Vampiric. Sure. I'm gonna go Ancestral on their upkeep. It's not like they have Flusterstorm in their deck at all, but they do have four negations. I guess I theoretically could have gone Time Walk. But I think that's worse. But maybe it's not. There's definitely some upside to Time Walk. But it's a pretty powerful card in this deck with the ring, and there's a lot of pretty reasonable upside to keeping it. Upkeep Ancestral, target me. All right, nice. We've got double force now. Don't have a lot of mana. Key? Sure. Gonna key vault. Force backup, maybe? Key tinker. Just negation pitching. Reacher and look to draw mana into Vault Key, maybe. It's probably fine. All right, so they had force backup for their Tinker. Their Tinker wasn't lethal, but ours is going to be if we hit enough mana. Though I guess if we miss, then an opponent can draw Time Vault as well. Let's draw. Drew a ring. If we miss on mana on the spin, it's like super bad, right? It's actually really bad for us. I wonder if I played that badly. What draw does even get me there? Nothing really even gets me there. Maybe this was not good. I really dislike upkeep spin in this situation, though. I guess we're going ring life. This does expose us to... Okay, now we can maybe spin for a force, and we have mana... Okay, I mean, I think we're in a good spot. My opponent could theoretically draw exactly Time Vault on this turn, and I might not have force. I guess they could also twist. Guess they could also technically draw Hold Breacher if I go for ring activation. So how much mana is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 1 mana short of Tinker Vault Key. How worried am I of a Hold Breacher? I guess theoretically I could name Manifold Key with Needle if I wanted to. By drawing with my top end response. Though simply waiting a turn here just gets my key no matter what, right? So is there... Yeah, I'm still just going to activate this ring. They could have definitely have drawn Hold Breacher here, though. No, they have not drawn Hold Breacher. So how much mana? I have 5 mana. I can't Tinker Vault Key. So what can I do? I can go Crypt Tinker into... Is there anything I can Tinker into that's actually good? Maybe I just spin? Spinning first makes sense to me. Force. Okay, that's what I want. I want force. So I keep force on top, and I just use my mana to play my Time Vault, and then I force whatever their play is, and then I get my key on my next turn. And then this is not my third spell, so I can't get trapped. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. I don't like this mirror. This mirror feels extremely swingy. This reminds me like a little bit of a PO mirror or a jewel mirror. GG's. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Round 4. That's a bad hand. That is a horrible hand. That's a good hand. It's kind of weird because this hand would be so much better if we had a Citadel in our deck, right? But in the absence of Citadel, we're just putting top, bottom, and then going Tinker. We actually can't play around Mindbreak Trap. We can play around solo Mindbreak Trap, but we can't play around Force Mindbreak Trap. So I don't think I'm interested in probing. Well, I don't know. Like we have to Tinker first for the ring. But we're like, what does that change? Like we're still going to, they are on Bazaar. Like we're still always going for the ring, right? I don't know what probing does for us. Oh, we have a Sphinx. Um, Is a Sphinx better than getting a ring here? I mean, the ring is pretty good against Bazaar as well. But we should probably get a Sphinx. And we definitely want to not probe. We know our opponent because they serum powdered, so we can actually play around like double Mindbreak Trap by going Tinker with no probe. But we can't beat Force plus Mindbreak Trap. So if their hand was Force blue card Mindbreak Trap Bazaar, so be it. Like that's just something that would happen to me. Drop a Sphinx in there. Should be pretty impossible for my opponent to beat this. They could theoretically have a snapback in their main and like put 3 squeeze in the yard to start and then draw into their snapback. That's about the only way. And this is why we play the Sphinx, for sure. All right, we're going to bring in Leyline of the Void, Lantern, Needle, Tabernacle. And we're going to take out Negation, Misstep, Island, Karn. Yeah, that looks good. Keep Island, cut Chain. Sure. Do we care about answering Chalice? No, not really. That's fine. I don't know. Like, when are we fetching Island? All of our lands get Ancient Tombed. Or sorry, all of our lands get Wastelanded. And they're all better than... Like, they're all, like, high-value Wasteland targets. Double Leyline, Saga, Tabernacle. I guess my Saga is protected by my double Leyline. God bless. All right. We're gaming. We are absolutely gaming. Oh, pass the turn has been called. I also have Force backup. So I do believe we have drawn the good cards this time. We also have Ancient Tomb to play our Saga tokens. Like, It's kind of messed up, actually, how good this hand was. This was really it's yeah. Yeah. My opponent got hosed here. I'm kind of surprised they're not playing Bizarre and activating and trying to find hollow ones, but I don't know what's going on exactly. Like, shouldn't they be trying to find hollow ones? All right, sure. Just force it for fun. Do I even need to force this? I can just make another construct token and then get a Lotus and Time Walk. Yeah, I'm just gonna force it. Like, what are they like? How can they reasonably win this game? I don't know. Like, I'm gonna make another Saga token here, get a needle. I don't know. I actively don't think we like if they force back here and the Force of Vigor resolves, I don't actually think that means we're losing. Should we get a Black Lotus and play Hold Reacher? We could. It's probably worse than just needling them. Oh, it's kind of messed up, but we take those. They're done. They're off it. We still have all these. Okay. Okay, here we go. Fifth and final round with our blue ring control deck. We're playing against Anti-Rush, who has got a sweet bug Neoform list. Should be pretty fun to play against. But the big part about that list is it does have Collector Roof. We have a Chain, and we have Saga, and we have... I guess this is fine, right? We can't chain the with front. Neoform is sack as part of the cost, right? Yeah, it's sack as part of the cost. I'm not really convinced that this hand is like good against what my opponent is doing. Trying to grab this. They're on 3 Collector Oof. So this is what my opponent's playing. It's a bug Neoform deck with 4 Vigor. 4 Vigor? I'm not playing a Saga hand against 4 Vigor. So 10 Forces, 4 Wasteland, 5 Wasteland, 10... Okay, all right. This has got to be a terrible matchup. We need to get a ring in play. All right, I guess this is Tinker... So we can bottom Lauren and... Oh god, if we bottom Lauren and they wasteland us. So I guess theoretically we can bottom Jet. And that gives us cycle for... Cycle first and then Mystical. Okay, so we'll try that. Can they beat Sphinx? They can't beat Sphinx, though. I guess they can just overpower Sphinx with Atraxas and stuff. Webcam froze. I'll deal with it in a second. I guess if my opponent has a Vigor, I get wrecked here, right? What can I really reasonably do? Why are you conceding? Bro. Why am I still frozen? I don't know why they conceded, but I think I was actually going to fetch Sphinx there. I still don't know where the hell my webcam is. I'll turn it on again, turn it off again. Hello? Oh, I don't think it was plugged in all the way. I don't know what's going on, chat. Sorry. We'll figure it out later. All right. I'm going to bring in 3 dismembers for Collector Roof. And... yeah, I have no idea where it went. I feel like Negation's kind of... I mean, they have Neoform combo. Let's take Karn out. Let's take Top out. Can you realistically take Volky out of this deck at all? Is that possible? I'm not 100% sure that's possible. Actually, Misstep looks pretty bad. Let's try this. I don't know. One more try. One more try, chat. Deactivate. Activate. Ah! No! Wait, it's me! I'm back. There is no need to worry. Oh, this is a hand keep? Wasteland. So rude. Oh no, my webcam is like dying, huh? What is going on? No. What is happening? All right, we'll fix this all after. We're just gonna have to deal with laggy Justin, apparently. Oh my lord. All right, what's our play? Are we gonna go Mana Crypt Tomb? I actually think we should just go Black Lotus and like throw a Saga at them, like the degenerate we are. It's not my cam itself, it's the cam link for sure. Oh my god, we got double forced. And they have I guess like we have to make them wasteland, right? There's no way they wasteland my ancient tomb. Maybe we'll try to get him to wasteland our ancient tomb here. What is happening? All right. I'm back away. Let me just... Oh my god, we got them to wasteland our ancient tomb. But they had another one. Oh. So their hand was double wasteland, double force. So I kind of want to skip a turn, but... Oh, I'm going to skip a turn. I got my turns in my bank. Whoa! Did you force blue card? My opponent has forced 3 cards so far. All right, see you, opponent. Sheesh. Well, if they get brainstorm lock themselves. I think we've won a couple flips in this game, huh? Are they gonna vigor me? All right, it's okay. Take an extra turn. Got him. All right, we drew a ring. Now we just need to draw. We can't draw anything that casts this. Okay. Uh-huh. No, I think we're winning this game. I think this is a win. I think this is a win. I think this is a win. I think we just need to draw the mana to cast the ring. Easy win. Oh my god. One more mana of any kind. And we can play another ring. It's free. How many rings is that? That's our 3rd ring. Turns out drawing rings, good. Oh, drawing, look how many rings we've drawn. Ah, we got there. You just have to dodge Collector. That's what we gotta dodge. Uh-oh, paying cost. Treasure Cruise? Oh, it's the hoots. Uh-oh. My opponent is playing Neoform into Atraxa. All right, just need a Hull Breacher. It's 2 free. Oh, you can't even see me lifting my hands in excitement. No. Oh, no. Why? You need to be seen. Oh my lord. We drew extremely well in that game. I must admit we drew. What? Why am I back in Frozen? How did this happen? All right, this is my let's go face. We're just gonna leave it at that. All right, so we went 3-2. We kind of got bullied in the beginning of this, but we pulled it out in the end. I don't know how to feel about this deck. It feels fragile. I mean, we do have 8 forces, but you're playing a Saga Ring deck. I don't know. I just don't know. Probably more testing is necessary. More vintage videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday on my YouTube channel. I'll see you then.